Is Sonic Frontiers writing bad? The writing of Sonic Frontiers has been a focal point ever since the game was released. After a decade of questionable cartoon hijinks, we received a solid and serious story thanks to the efforts of Ian Flynn. The general consensus between everyone, Sonic fan or casual, is that the game's writing was solid and that is the direction the franchise should take for the foreseeable future. Well, it turns out we were apparently wrong, because now people are taking to Twitter to clown the writing of Ian Flynn and comparing the Sonic Frontiers story to cutaways from Family Guy. Family Guy. Let that sink in. So today we're gonna discuss about Sonic Frontiers writing and truly get to the bottom of whether it's a step up from the garbage of the 2010s or if Sonic Frontiers feels like a cutaway being summoned by Peter Griffin. Drop a like and maybe subscribe if you end up enjoying this video, and let's get this bread. Before we can understand where Sonic Frontiers' writing has differed from the games in Sonic's past, we need to look at the writing of the previous Sonic games. Ever since the switch to the Studiopolis cast in 2010, Sega decided to hire the writers of the Happy Tree Friends cartoon, Warren Graff and Ken Pontac, also unofficially known as Pontac. Their style of writing was vastly different to what Sonic fans were used to, as their stories were more self-contained and dumbed down for kids to understand. These stories usually had zero stakes and no emotional value, and most of the jokes included in the dialogue were cringe-inducing, alienated any rational adult who wanted to sit down and enjoy the story. No more to be said. Ian Flynn is a writer from the IDW comics and formerly Archie, who has been writing Sonic stories since 2006's Sonic the Hedgehog issue 160, so he has decades of Sonic under his belt and has a deep understanding of how the Sonic universe works. Pontac, however, knew jack about Sonic and didn't care about the lore. It didn't help that the Sonic fan base grew to resent these two, and eventually they did not give a shit about Sonic at all. Now in 2022 we have the release of Sonic Frontiers, a brand new Sonic story with a fresh writing style and more serious cutscenes. Unlike the Pontac written games, Sonic Frontiers is heavily laden with references from all over Sonic media, including characters and major lore events. Well, what seems to be the issue? Some people are finding fault with all of these references, comparing the writing of this game to Family Guy, a show which is notorious for their characters coming up with wacky scenarios which play out in the next scene. For example, Peter Griffin will say something like, "Oh man, Lois, this is worse than that time I played Sonic Heroes," and then we see him playing Sonic Heroes and suffering as a result. No man should have to play Sonic Heroes. Feel so bad for Peter. But most of these tweets complaining about Sonic Frontiers seem to be a form of satire, and I won't lie to you guys, they're pretty funny. The tweets usually mention the Sonic games from the past and shows a flanderized version of the cutscene imitating Sonic Frontiers. So for example, the game could be Sonic Adventure, but every time a character or specific phrase is mentioned, the Vine Boom sound effect plays and we're shown what the reference is supposed to be on screen. Again, this is a satire of the Frontiers cutscenes, in which a character would mention how the particular scene reminds them of a past event in the Sonic game, the most notorious being the Angel Island flashbacks on Ares Island from Knuckles. All these tweets are hilarious and seemingly harmless fun. There are some serious complaints about Frontiers writing, which is an issue, as Sonic Team and Sega in the most part are monitoring the response to Sonic Frontiers closer than they've ever done for a previous game. Sonic Frontiers is essentially the test subject, and the online response to this game is going to shape how the next one turns out. The team leader Morio Kishimoto has been very present online, and so has the game composer Tomoya Otani. Sonic Team as a whole has taken very big risks when developing this game and have made decisions that they usually would not do to spread their wings. This is the first Sonic game using the brand new open zone formula that they've spent 5 years tweaking and reworking. If there are a lot of complaints about Sonic Frontiers writing, whether satire or genuine, they're gonna note that down and act accordingly. We're in an age where internet access has become more instant for more and more people, so Sega is paying more attention to what people are actually saying as a way to improve on their products. Now, it may sound like I'm saying all criticism is bad, and I want to nip that in the bud immediately. Trust me when I say it's always a good thing to be overly critical of something you like. You want to see it grow and correct any mistakes it may have made. That's the only way we can move forward in life. But blindly hating or making claims without any solid reason to back it up just adds confusion. I used the Family Guy comparison as a heavy example in this video, but this applies to basically every complaint about Sonic Frontiers. Some of these complaints are perfectly valid, such as the cyberspace levels controlling like complete trash or how rushed the final boss was. But if Sega seems people complaining about the writing again after an entire decade of mid stories that did not fit Sonic at all, how are they gonna know what to do with the writing for the next game? They could end up hiring Pontoff again, or God forbid someone worse. The influence writing is not perfect, but he understands Sonic both as a franchise and as a character. Pontoff did not give a shit about Sonic. They didn't give a shit about the lore, they didn't give a shit about the characterizations, and they most certainly did not give a shit about the continuity. And I personally never want anyone as inexperienced as that working on a Sonic game again. Sega is putting in the effort, Sonic team is finally hiring more people to build on lore and to actually develop the games, and it seems like Sonic is getting the deserved attention he needs instead of having his budget cut and Sonic team being understaffed. I have to say I'm completely proud of how Sonic team was able to pull this off, even with their criminally undersized number of staff, and can only dream about how the future games will turn out with more people under their belt. But now I want to know what you, the viewer, think about this. Do you agree with my views on the writing of Frontiers and the whole Sonic team situation, or do you have something else to say on the matter? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Join the Discord server in the description below so you never miss a future upload, and I'll see you guys later. Temzy out. Peace.